All right, welcome back. We are roughly 6 hours away from the final patch, Darkheart, in World of Warcraft Dragonflight. This is the last patch, and it is pretty exciting for me in a couple different ways. We're going to go through some of the patch notes that released. We're going to go through video, and we're going to just kind of talk about what's going on here in World of Warcraft as we finish up Dragonflight and get ready for the War Within. Now, the War Within is the reason why I'm back into WoW. I really enjoyed watching the release trailer, the cinematic trailer for this new expansion. I thought it was good, and it to me it kind of resonated a little bit. So we're going to go into the most recent cinematic here. Get the coffee going here because we're struggling this morning. So let's get into this cinematic. This is the one that just released a few days ago. Now that others have looked at it, but I want to kind of play through it and get my opinions and thoughts on it.
My people are no strangers to voices from below, but this radiant song is different.
It's being heard all across Azeroth. The Council doesn't know what to make of it.
There must be someone who does. I'll let you know what I find.
Valeria.
So something I like about that is we're talking. We go back to BFA with Jaina discussing how her people are used to the voices of the deep and everything that happened in BFA. I'm not super heady on that lore because BFA was. I don't want to say it's the reason I stopped playing WoW, but I'd say it was probably about 80% the reason why I quit playing WoW, and Shadowlands didn't really do anything to keep me going. But it's a nice touch, nice callback for her to understand that things are going on here, and the voices are something that she needs to get through and understand and figure out. But there's more there, right? There's more going on here, and this is where we start figuring out that there's the void, and we've got Iridikron, and we've got our girl that everybody loves, the Naifu. She's out there making trouble. And then I think it's just a really nice touch.
It's been too long, old friend.
Good to see you, Khadgar. Doing well?
As well as can be expected. How's the family?
I gotta tell you, though, that Khadgar right now, he sounds a lot like Winnie the Pooh. And I know that's not intentional, but I get this Winnie the Pooh vibe off of him when I hear him talking. Maybe it goes away. Maybe it goes away later on. But right now it feels strained. Everything feels strained coming out of him. And I don't know if the intent for that strain is them to kind of show his stressor because he does not know what's going on. And it's rare that Khadgar doesn't have the answers. So maybe that's where this strain is coming from. It's making him sound like Pooh Bear. I've heard some talk where people are saying that this entire dialogue isn't the most fluid. It sounds like two friends that know each other but are awkward. And they're awkward in the sense that they don't know how to speak to one another because they both have gone through a lot of things since their last meeting. Clearly, both of them have seen quite a bit. And I think that's where the awkwardness comes from.
I haven't... It's better if I keep my distance.
Of course. The void. That would be... Actually, your connection to the void is why I asked you here. We still don't know what this dark heart relic is capable of. But we do know it's in the hands of someone called the Harbinger. Who they are and what they intend to do remains a mystery.
And the Harbinger is what the entire focus of Darkheart is. From what I understand, we'll look at the patch notes later, but we're going to be getting a quest from Khadgar to help us start unraveling what's going on here.
Which is why I need your help.
To hunt down a dangerous foe we know nothing about. Honestly, I could use the distraction.
Same old Valeria. Void or no void.
I think he touched a nerve here with Ilaria, void or no void. She feels it. She knows there's something going on with her. She knows that the void has definitely made a change in her. And we don't know if we're getting a lot of voices in her head. We don't know what she's hearing, what she's dealing with since becoming void touched. We had a really nice interaction there, and we got an entire playable race because of this, but we don't know what's going on in her head. And you can see right now that she is just in this, picture here. You can tell that the what's going on is not always happy and great in her head. She's struggling with this void, and void or no void, still the same Illyria is not true. She knows she's not the same Illyria because there is the void.
I didn't mean to.
See you soon, Khadgar.
Why are we not connected? There we go. We gotta love it going live. I like that she kind of plays it off. He recognizes he makes a terrible mistake, and she just plays it off. She's gonna go find what's going on here, and I wonder how much she's gonna be integral in this patch. We'll find out roughly in 6 hours. I'm willing to say 7. Patches says it's done. The release notes say it's going to be done 3 o'clock Pacific time, 5 o'clock my time. I really think it'll be done a little closer to 6. Usually these big kind of patches are not, not even big patches. It's a small patch, and sometimes it's the small patches that cause more problems than big patches. But patch day is always a hit or miss type of thing.
Dark heart in hand.
So that is our cinematic here, and this is our content update here. So
Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. It turns out one of the fastest growing segments of people signing.
So the prologue to The War Within, we're going to have our first quest. We're going to be going out. Khadgar is going to take us, and we're going to investigate a mysterious figure called the Harbinger, who possesses a powerful relic called the Dark Heart. The Archmage has also asked Illyria Windrunner to join you in order to give her unique perspective. I think we're going to learn something about Illyria on this quest line that nobody else is going to learn. That Khadgar's not going to get an answer to until it's too late. And there's rumors of Dalaran meeting an untimely demise as we start the war with him. And I wonder if there's a connection there. I wonder if there's a connection with the fact that Illyria is going to talk to us, and we're going to know a secret that Khadgar doesn't. And maybe we can't get to him in time, or he's not going to buy into us knowing what we're talking about. I think there's going to be a miscommunication of some sort, and it's going to cause the attack on Dalaran to go worse than we thought it would. Or it could be entirely non-player driven at all. Kind of like Legion was, where we lost Varian right in the beginning, which is huge. It was a big gut punch. We lost Vol'jin as well a little later on, which set up different expansions later on. We have new people in charge of the factions. I don't know how it's all going to play out entirely, but I really think there might be some player agency in this where we know something and we just can't get the information, or we show up late. I feel like we're probably going to show up late to the destruction of Dalaran. Everything's being kept hidden. You can't play any of it on the alpha or the PTR, so we'll all learn together, which I think is great. Kind of like these quest lines. Like there's no out there's nothing for these quest lines. We're going to get Draenei and Troll Heritage Armor. Heritage Armor is a big thing. I'm not sure how I feel about the troll heritage armor. The nose, I mean, I don't play trolls. I don't play the horde. So I really feel like my opinion doesn't matter too much, but I don't like the headpiece. I think everything else is okay. I think the shoulders are pretty cool. And the back not being a cape, I think that's kind of neat. But the plague wearer's mask, the Venetian plague bearer mask, or however you said that, like, it's kind of what that reminds me of, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. The Draenei heritage armor, that's based off the original drawings from way back in the Burning Crusade. It's not terrible. But to be perfectly honest, I don't know what I expected to see. I don't know what we were going to see. I don't know how that was going to play out. So it's better than nothing, I guess, and it has some benefits. And the thing is, it's just extra, right? Like, you don't need to get it, you don't need to use it. This, though, is probably the biggest, most exciting thing coming in this patch that I'm looking forward to. WoW Remix Mist of Pandaria event. This is going to be pretty exciting for me. I have a couple characters that are not max level, and I don't enjoy some of the leveling right now in different areas and different aspects. I enjoy Dragonflight. I thought the entire experience was great. I thought going through the first time with my main character, I played through all the story, every beat. But when I got to a couple other characters, because I love playing my alts, I have tons of alts. When I started playing the other ones, I started noticing that I focused on different areas, and I ignored a lot of the major story areas because either it just didn't feel fast enough for me or it just wasn't as enjoyable. And the toughest part is after you get to max level 70 right now with a character, getting to level 70 with another one, it doesn't feel as good as it should. And I feel like they're going to do something with that when the War Within, as you saw, maybe I can try and find it. There was some different achievements. So when you get a character to 80, I believe you get a 5% bonus of experience to your next character. So if you get 5 characters, it's a 25% bonus experience. So it will speed up before you get to the end. But I mean, I'm looking forward to this simply because I think the Mist of Pandaria are one of my most favorite expansions. When I do level up other characters and I go into Chromie's Time Walking, I usually end up in Pandaria. I thought the stories were good. I thought the questing was really good. I think it was some of the best questing without the need for some kind of player power artifact. I don't mind Legion, but it's tied around using your Legion artifacts, which are not as fun as they once were, which that really bothers me. I wish there was a way to play with your Legion artifacts. Now that we're 4 expansions away now from Legion, I would like to have it so you can play and just power up your artifacts. And obviously you can't power them up to the point where they're useful in current day situations. But playing through Legion and getting kind of useless bits of parts for your artifact weapon, it's not as fun. And you can still power up and level up your Heart of Azeroth in BFA. So they didn't cancel that out. In fact, if you play BFA and you're leveling a character up that way, your neck piece, your Heart of Azeroth, is actually going to be useful to you for a decent amount of time going into Dragonflight. And I'm not sure that they meant that as intentional, you know. So I would like to see that happen. Anyway, when you have that player power is tied to some kind of item, it alters the way you play. Shadowlands, I had trouble getting into the story. I've just recently gone through and completed the Covenants, 3 of the 4 Covenants in Shadowlands, simply because I can just power through it now at max level. I tried when it came out and I just could not get into it. But Mop, I think Mop was probably one of my most exciting times in World of Warcraft. I played a lot of characters. I probably leveled up the most amount of alts in Pandaria. I enjoyed the Timeless Isle because there was always just something you can do, and you didn't need to dedicate a lot of time. You can just run around in circles and group up and chase certain rares and try and get certain mounts or certain cosmetics. And we're bringing all that back in the WoW Remix. So I'm really excited to play this. I'm excited on how they're leveling up. See the features here. Accelerated leveling and content allowing you to take on nearly every quest, scenario, dungeon, and raid. Create a new WoW Remix character starting at level 10 to adventure through all the way up to level 70. Get powerful items from everywhere, quest chests, creatures, bosses. I think that's going to be cool because everything you earn, you'll see at the bottom here. Customized items allowing you to power up as far as you can go and take on tougher content. I'm pretty sure that's the cloak. Your cloak is account bound within the time walking event or the time running event. So every character will have it. So when you power up that cloak for your main character, your first character, it's going to affect every character after that. So they're going to have a huge power bump when you start them at level 10. Convert unwanted items into bronze, which can be used to upgrade items or purchase cosmetics. I am heavily going to purchase the cosmetics. I'm going to try and get as many mounts, as many cosmetics as possible. And you keep what you collect. Take your collection of transmogs, mounts, and pets with you into the war within. That's pretty cool, right? It's a lot like Plunderstorm. And Plunderstorm was something I personally couldn't get into. I don't think I would ever say it wasn't a success because I think Plunderstorm was. I think Plunderstorm was great. I think it was a new way of doing PvP. I think it's probably going to become something a little more standard. I think I don't want to say overwhelming, but it felt like an overwhelming approval of it. Much more than disapproval, I feel like is going to have an impact on the way PvP is played in the future. Now, whether that means we're going to have another Plunderstorm-esque Battle Royale in the future, or if it's going to be something that they're going to tie more into the PvP of the game, I don't know, but I don't think that we've seen it for the last time. The bones are there, right? We've just developed this. They made it, right? And it's the Arathi Highlands, the Arathi Basin. So the bones of what they want to do, creating somewhere where you start with 60 characters, I think it was, drop into an area, create the storm coming. Like that is all there. That's all the technical guts of it all. So now you just reskin it. They can do this later on. They can put this in Pandaria and make it that the Shahs are closing in on you or something. They can put this into a cavern. They can put this in the world within into a way where it's a cavern. There's a lot of options that they can do with it. So I don't think we're not going to ever see that again. And I think we're going to... I can't imagine that the time running is going to be... poorly received. I don't think that this is going to be the last we've ever seen of this. So I think, depending on how well this goes, we may see another remix in the future. This may become an end of expansion thing where you get to the end of the War Within and, we're in the final season of Awakening or however they're going to call the raid. That final season where you can just kind of power up yourself. And maybe we're going to get a new WoW remix where it's going to be Northrend or WoD. I think Wrath would be pretty neat, right? We level all the way up to 80 and you can just overpower the Lich King. I think there are definitely unique and interesting ways of putting this out there and getting new things. There's always stuff that people love and want. And maybe we couldn't get it the first go around. There's a lot of really cool mounts in Pandaria that I didn't get because I couldn't focus long enough on any one character to play and do enough dailies to get them to Exalted to buy the mounts. I love playing different characters and trying different things. I played the entire story across probably 6 or 7 characters. So I think this is going to be something that's going to come back as well. I can't imagine this getting poorly received. I can't imagine people are like, oh, wow, Remix Mr. Pandaria was terrible. Let's not do it again. Let's look at some more changes, updates coming up. 6 new hair colors for the Cold Tyran. Hunters, we're getting a huge pet stable update. This looks to be pretty cool. Item drop here. We increase the drop rate of the oozing Necro Ray egg obtained from the Tribute of the Ambitious and Tribute of the Duty Bound. This will be good too here, right? All Dragonflight quests that previously became available with Renown are now available to all max player characters regardless of Renown. So that's a big step for those who didn't get to finish it. Now they can see them all. We have the Be Yourself celebration. After learning from Chromie and Caligos about the Visage Day celebrations of Azeroth's past, Emberthal feels pressured to choose her own Visage form. However, she remains uncertain of the path she should take. Speak with Chromie and Valdrakken to learn more. So I didn't know this was coming up. This could be pretty neat. We'll see how this one plays out. This one, I think, sounds really cool. And then Sins of the Sister. Night Elf has arrived in Balameth to bury the family she lost at Teldrassil. But when her deceased sister is revealed to be a traitor, will the Night Elf show her sister forgiveness or demand accountability for her sins? Level 70 players can speak with Malfurion Stormrange at the Terrace of the Moon and Balameth to accept the quest, an uncommon request, and start this quest line. From what I understand, this is the quest line where the player has an ability to alter the landscape. I'm pretty certain, if I remember correctly, this is the one where we get to choose where the gravesites are going to be. And that's going to be determined by the players, which I think is a nice touch and a very unique way of doing things. So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out. And we have some interface and accessibility changes here. So we're going to improve pre-made group finder. So there's filters now for dungeons, role available, letting you know if none of your class is in the group already, if the tank or healer is already in the group. The minimum Mythic Plus rating of the leader. So that's interesting because now you can't have a guy who's expecting... it's wild. They're going to try it anyway. People are going to expect more and want to see more from their people than what they actually have. The trading post, we're going to have mount categories that are going to be shown in the details panel. Level requirements for using a mount will now be shown in the trading post details panel, which, that's neat, but I think you should know what the level requirement is for a mount at this point. I know there's still new players coming in, but you learn as you level up when you get your mount. Combat and mount special animations can now be toggled in the trading post. So I guess that means you can see the special animations for the mount in the trading post to kind of get an idea of what it looks like. Yeah, so that is our patch. That is 10.2 or 4.7. That's what's coming. Yeah, 10.2.7 coming today in, we'll see, roughly 6-7 hours, I think, depending on how everything goes. Additionally, we're going to have Midrasil as our Awakened raid this season. So all the Midrasil bosses are going to give Awakened gear to help level you up and create that nice power bump for all your characters. And I think they timed this really well. So there's not many quests that come out here with Darkheart. You got a quest line with Khadgar You've got the quest line with Malfurion. And then the rest of it's a lot of quality of life upgrades and some cosmetic upgrades. And the big ticket item, I think, for this little patch is next week when Mr. Pandaria's time running event goes live. That allows you one more week where you can play. You have the opportunity now with this week to play all 3 of the raids in their awakened form, get some new gear, more stuff from the vault for your characters, level them up, and then they're as strong as they're going to be until the War Within, or until at least the War Within pre-patch, where I'm sure they're going to have new gear to help beef up your characters some more, just like every other pre-patch. If you play the pre-patch, you're going to get some decent gear that'll help you at least through the first level or 2 in the expansion. So this lets you get your characters one more time. And then, when the War Within, when the pre-patch goes live, and they start implementing all those new transmog rules where a character can just go and they can loot it, pick it up, and it's available whether or not they can wear it as the character themselves. It's going to allow those who have the super powerful characters, you can plow through all the old content, push a little harder in things like Battle for Azeroth and the Shadowlands, get some of that gear you didn't get during that time. I don't have a lot of gear at all from BFA or Shadowlands. It's just not something I really played. So this is another opportunity to go through with a stronger character and kind of just get that gear, get ready for the War Within. So it's a fun time, it's an exciting time. There's a lot going on, but nothing I would say that's super heavy. A lot of good stuff, a lot of fun stuff. Like this is a great time. Plus the WoW Remix, Mr. Pandaria, this time running event is going to go, rumor has it, till August. So there's no rush. If you can't play immediately next week, it's okay. We've got a couple months of this that's going to allow you to play as many characters as you want, grind as much stuff, get as many cosmetics as you want, or just keep powering up your characters in retail, in the main game, and just keep grinding out and getting ready to get all the sweet transmogs. I think it's going to be pretty cool because eventually you're going to have every transmog. You don't need to run as many dungeons. You don't need to run as many of the old raids. You can probably do an old raid. I'm going to roughly throw this estimate out here. Let's say you run a raid from Legion. You can run it maybe 10 times, 12 times, and you may get all the gear. You may get everything from that, whether it's normal, heroic, mythic. And then you can go through the other one if you want the different colorations. But eventually, at that point, only thing you're looking for is mounts. Because the mounts aren't going to... I don't think they're going to magically just increase the drop rate on the mounts. Although, I have seen more mounts drop in legacy rating for me in the past 2 months than I've seen in the years I've played. I've been playing this game off and on since 2005 with a big break. My big break was between BFA and Shadowlands. But just since January, I got the Love is in the Air rocket. I was able to pull Invincible. I was able to get the Fail Steel Annihilator. I was able to get the mount from the Siege of Orgrimmar. And that's just in the past couple months. So maybe they have bumped it up, or maybe finally after playing this game off and on for over, 10 years, maybe 15 years, 20 years, since 2005. It's been a long time. 19 years of playing this game. Maybe eventually the numbers run in my favor. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to see what happens here. Hopefully patch day goes off without a hitch. We can get this up and running, and we'll have more content to deliver. I thought this was a good start stream, the first time doing this. So if you like it, let me know what you think. Just a quick 30-minute guy here. If you don't like this and you'd rather me not do it, then let me know. I can go back to making just videos and never keeping it live. So, yeah. All right, let's end this and go from there.